Start chatting. Rata.
Hi, this is the second part of the 2021 support report. If you didn't see part 1, watch out for spoilers. The spoilers for the intricate storyline of support report. Ooh, I think we're gonna review some cards in this one. We're kicking it off with REPTILIANNE and a pretty hefty support wave of 5 cards, which is refreshing after that IV drip of support of 2 monsters through the Link era. REPTILIANNE NYAMI feels like it might as well have been released right alongside NYAMI, since their utility is pretty similar. They're both level 2s, although NYAMI is not a tuner. They have an attack reduction effect that applies from the hand.
Oh no, we're watching REPTILIANNE reviews.
In the same turn as
oh, descending into
Come on,
madness.
we can't be having too much fun here. Anyway, it's good. I wish it also hit 0 attack, but the effect mostly makes up for it. You have a decent amount of resources in the deck to make use out of both of the effects, so there's generally no issues here. Their other new main deck monster is REPTILIANNE COATL. COATL card. Field presence for days. It gets dragged out to the field by the reptiles and then drags out more reptiles from the hand. The ability
Speaking of which, why has Rada never done a raid?
There's not a lot of variety in the monsters you work with, and you're occasionally
just to actually think about how good Rata's raid video sponsor could be.
Stuck with multiple tuners. This is basically a straight upgrade over most of your main deck monsters, so there's no reason to run less than 3. For their way overdue new synchro monster, we have the level 8 REPTILIANNE MELUSINE. Simple summoning conditions, sturdy protection, good floating, and
integrity,
a pretty interesting
principles,
attack reduction effect. Each time on a
sorry, if you think that it's about principle and dignity and honor to not do a sponsorship, that's the fucking weird champest thing I've heard. Like, grow up, okay? This isn't fucking the 90s. Alright? Like, that is genuinely the fucking weird champest thing you've ever said.
Opponent's monster effect activates, you can reduce
there is no, like,
attack to 0
dishonor in doing a sponsored fucking video,
if they're
dude.
really popping off, you might end up making the opponent's monster's attack
it's about fat stacks and only fat stacks.
Pretty
sure that's his actual reason. He said it on stream. He said that on stream.
It's not too bad since the destruction.
Bruh, he's obviously. I think he's being hyperbolic or something. There's no way Rada thinks that doing sponsors is
make full use out of this effect is a
bit
bit annoying.
Weird.
Still, she's fairly easy to summon and basically the most competent monster in the archetype due to giving them something to sit on from turn 1. Her destruction immunity also makes it so you can pop 2 cards with offering without having to lose any of your own.
Good player, thank you for your sub.
Good day, set up your board is REPTILIANNE Ramifications. For a single discard, you can either search 2 REPTILIANNE cards, those being 1 monster and 1 back row, or search 1 card and knock 1 monster's attack down to 0. This is the type of
this is the one good REPTILIANNE card, I'm pretty sure. The rest are like Ogdodics, really.
Legacy support that makes me
sponsorship specifically with raid.
This much instant access to your deck usually.
I mean, okay, I can half understand specifically with raid, but raid is like such a meme at this point. Like everyone knows, like when you do a sponsor for it, it's just for the fucking tech W.
Because if you play your cards right, you can kill Dragoon with a 200 attack NYAMI. This is their best back row, and it's not even close.
He wouldn't feel comfortable advertising to his kids. We never touch raid.
The card you'll most likely be searching.
There's more than one sponsor.
Is their new field spell, REPTILIANNE RECOIL. The first effect lets you
raid
blow
isn't
up
the
a
only
0 attack monster you control to special
you could get sponsored by Manscaped and NordVPN, which I actually believe in their products. I shave my balls like twice a month, and it was worth it. You know, I used the code Samurai30 at the checkout, and I got money off of, like, shaving my balls.
So your only other option for accessing them is Recoil's second effect, which lets you take control of an opponent's monster with 0 attack when they activate a monster effect,
I'll smoother your balls.
0 attack REPTILIANNE
Very
into
smooth.
their field. It's clearly meant to combo with Melusine.
Listen, guys, I know most of you here are single, so, like, you know, taking care and grooming yourself is like a complete problem and issue. I get it. I understand. But, you know, when you live with like another human being, it's important to take care of your body.
And let you take control of the opponent's monsters mid-combo, which works
Sad.
well enough.
I mean,
This
is facts. Like,
the token spawning effect is a little
wait,
weird.
you shower more than once a week?
The opponent is
most
likely just gonna link it away.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bit of a name. It's important.
REPTILIANNE need to jump through hoops to do things other archetypes do without any issues. Even with Melusine's effect, they still have no convenient way for mass attack.
If you think a VPN protects your data, bad news for you.
Maintain consistency is because
well, it depends what you're doing. If you're just logging into Google on your main account, then yeah. Obviously, you're not doing anything. You're just pinging around the world at that point.
Some pretty powerful search and
but yeah, VPNs are absolutely good.
In order to work,
Manscaped actually good. Oh yeah, 100% would recommend. I'm not sponsored by them. I have no stake in this. But like, it was very good.
With keeping the deck at a very consistently low power level,
I have amazingly smooth balls because of Manscaped.
Actually fun to play. And for a deck this old,
they smooth as your head. No, Kuchimanko, they're as smooth as your fucking brain.
I wish they got a card that lets them synchro
7 IQ child.
Shotgunning away their 5th monster's attack in a row and then summoning Hydra sounds like one of the funniest plays you could possibly make in this game. Another reptile archetype
Prove
which
it.
got some love.
Oh, you want me to prove I got
aliens.
small
The
balls?
subject
Sorry,
of the
smooth
very
balls?
first
Shut up.
archetype
I'm getting
archetype.
out of here.
It's also the worst stage archetype
VPN
archetype
sounds so
because there
paranoid.
was an entire
It
segment
isn't
for
just
a
about
breakdown of
paranoia.
all
It has, like,
mechanics, and then
benefits.
links got announced within like 2 hours of the upload.
You can play like games early. You can watch
First up
different
is
movies
Alien
and stuff that you
StealthBuster.
are region
It's
locked on
basically
like
the
different
best
streaming
target for
services.
M-frame and recombination device due to the floating effect
Freudian
immediately
slip.
spreading even more A counters onto the field, and if you go
I have
for a
little
second effect
chickpeas.
instead, it turns them into quick spot removal. There's a good reason here why you can't use both effects on the same turn, but at least they're both very solid in their own regard. It's true that there's not much use for
they're solid.
StealthBuster outside of this.
You guys
The
remember
card
that?
was essentially
Solid?
engineered to be
Uh-huh.
dumped, distributed, or synchroned away, but it gives you a good
Keep
return
up
for
the
the
good
investment.
content,
It's
funny
great at what it
streamer
does, so
man.
run 3.
I
Other
hope
new
you
card
keep
is the
trying
Link
new
Monster
types of
Cosmic
content like
Slicer
the
Zero.
Pokemon
I like this
streams.
prevailing
Maybe try
cosmic
other
horror
games
boss monster
too?
teaming for aliens. It's like an occasional
Potentially.
apology for messing up Gangiel so badly. Anyway,
We'll see.
Zero is fantastic. It turns A counters into a genuine threat because they can now completely shut down the
You know the problem with this card is that it's Link 3.
opponent's monsters due to the absolute negation effect it shamelessly took from the Buster Blader.
Thank you,
version.
Iger,
It
for
also
the
comes
kind
with
words.
a handy search effect to kickstart or
RuneScape when?
continue with spreading A counters.
Ah,
and because this
shit.
apparently wasn't in
Speaking of RuneScape, do you know what I was going to do? I was going to open a P.O. box for Christmas and do a P.O. box opening on Christmas Day. I thought that might be funny, but I forgot to open the P.O. box before December starts. But there is like a chance that I can like last chance open a P.O. box like tonight and then announce it and then like do a Christmas P.O. box stream. That could be kind of fun. Play RuneScape with Herman and Max. Bro, everyone DM'd me. Like, Gage was like, I will play RuneScape with you. Max wants to play RuneScape. What the fuck are these RuneScape duelists doing? Like, hello? There's no way that game is good and worth playing still.
enough. It
Then
gives you
again,
an
we're all
extra
playing
normal
Yu-Gi-Oh,
summon.
so-
Given that you might have already used one up on
Simo?
making the link, this is
Yeah,
a great
Simo's an
ability,
extremely
since the
busy
negation
guy.
effect paired up with Alien Kid
Fishing
is an
and
extremely
clicking on
nasty
rocks.
play, so having the option to easily bring it out is perfect.
the
Zero is
best
the type
game.
of support most GX era archetypes wish they could get, providing immense
1
utility
to
while staying
99
completely
fishing is
aligned with deck
based.
design, so there's not much else to say here besides prioritize summoning this thing. As one of
I
my
tried
favorite
having
archetypes in
Herman
terms of
explain the
combining
game
team
to
and
me and he was like,
playstyle,
yeah,
I'm
you get
glad
the
bits and pieces of
you get to
support
the
aliens have
fish
been
and
getting
then
are pretty
yeah,
good.
you cook
Modernizing
the
their
fish.
effects while keeping the counter focus is exactly what
Oh,
I'm looking for,
shit!
especially when the way the new cards
Gameplay.
are designed still enables you to use some of their older, wackier stuff. Once again, their field presence is mostly salvaged by Ogdo addicts, but can you blame a monster type for employing a decent engine
RuneScape is
instead
like
of
the game
dealing
you
with
return
garbage
to.
opening
How do they
hands
make
9
money
out
off
10
of that
times?
game?
They're good snakes, Brent. Well, I don't think aliens are in a great spot right now.
Play
Really, they
Tibia?
could use more consistency
I've
and
never heard of
recovery.
that.
I think they're fun enough
Jeff
to play with
watches
their
me
current
playing
cards.
it angry.
The last
Angry because
archetype
what?
we'll
You're
be looking at
misplaying
in
in
this video
RuneScape or
are
because he just hates it?
Ghostricks? Like,
Are you doing the same thing for hours?
yes, Ghostricks.
Yeah, it
of all
says the
things,
guy who
somehow
played
received
Yu-Gi-Oh
4
for like
cards worth of
15 years,
support,
eh? What does he
meaning
know?
There's a kind soul over at Konami thinking about all the dozen Ghost
Yo,
Trick
if
fans still
Jeff
trying to
ever
make
makes
something
fun
out
of you
them.
for
Well,
RuneScape,
I
just
appreciate
say
a
haha
good fruitless
Tragodia,
effort,
okay?
so
He'll
let's see what's
understand.
going on here. Here we have their first ever level 4 Ghost Trick Siren. Other than the standard Ghost Trick effects of can't be normal summon if
RuneScape
you
is
don't
so
control
insane.
Ghost
Herman,
Trick,
you've
also
said that
can
like
put the
3
face down
times
when you
and
feel
all
like it.
you've done
She's
to
also
prove
the
your
first of
point
the
is
archetype to have an
you
effect
get to
that
the
goes off with
fish and
normal
then you
summon in
cook the
addition to being
fish.
flipped face up. This is presumably because
Doesn't
they
sound
realized that shit was
insane.
considered slow even back in 2015, and today it would just be a tragedy. The self-milling is a bit weird, since the archetype never really
can
had
cut
big
a
graveyard
tree.
focus, but a new spell which you can search for this effect basically
Poggers.
mitigates the cost. You can also flip a monster face
Isn't
down
that
instead of
basically
milling and
New World?
searching, which is something your
But
trap
with better
cards usually did
graphics?
for you, but now you have an additional charge for it. Also, it's not a once per turn,
It's a
so
child-
you can activate
Kuchi-
it multiple times if you
Kuchi,
get the
are you
chance.
okay?
The worst part of the card is really the RNG. While it does enable you to run some generic
What about
cards
the people
with
who go
floating
Seer
effects,
Dante
there
for
will
6 years?
definitely be times when the
7
effect
years, get it
just
right, idiot.
fizzles. This deck can't really afford to play around with these kinds of
Did he just fucking say what I think he did?
down. Definitely card is really the RNG. While it does enable you to run some generic cards with floating effects, there will definitely be times when the effect just fizzles. This
Oh my god. Oh my god. Did he just
deck can't really afford to play around with these kinds of downsides, so I'm not sure why they opted for this condition. Regardless, Siren
Is
is
this based
something
or
you
is this
just
capital
have
D
to
colon?
run. As an interesting antithesis
really
to
don't
the
know.
Ghostrick playstyle, they also received a Link monster. Ghostrick Festival
my
lets you break the
God,
rules of the
Jesse!
game and use a
Praying
face-down monster's
gesture,
material,
praying
because at this
gesture.
point why even pretend you're not desperate. Attempting to fix one of the core issues of the deck, that being the complete inability to deal with links,
Yo, thank you,
Festival
Yami.
lets you
Appreciate
attack
the
directly
sub.
if you control a field spell, whether the opponent's monsters are face down or not. This is at
Wait, this is in Bach, right? You can also use a face-down Ghostrick monster you control as a material, by the way. Isn't that hilarious? Just, you read this on paper and you think to yourself, that is the most busted effect ever. You can link with a face-down monster. Like, how? Literally how? This is like making Cyber Slash Lady levels of how, you know?
At most, a pat on the back for a deck that needs a long-term medical plan, but the card is more than the sum of its parts. You can link away your
OSRS currency is the easiest to get and stable currency. A large amount of Venezuelans play OSRS for income. Yeah, I did hear about that. Soon Turkish people are going to have to start playing
RuneScape. As a lot of
RuneScape.
people would have hoped. Really, it's just a set of effects to large training wheels, but the additions
RuneScape money is probably going to be a little bit more stable than the lira soon.
The philosophy of if you can't beat them, join them.
Why isn't Cyber Slash an XC for real?
Card is GHOSTRIK Shot. This is phenomenal.
Probably to give it more stats is the only reason I can think
your
of.
field with face-ups, it triggers face-downs, restocks XC's materials, and you can activate both effects on the same
And I guess
turn,
it's better as a
meaning you
synchro
can also
because it
revive
dumps
an
the
XC's
guys
monster
into
and
the
then
graveyard
load it
immediately.
up. I don't know why all of the support wasn't of this caliber, but I'll take what I can get. Run 10 of these, Jesus Christ. The last card for this video is their new this caliber, but I'll
Special a Ghostrick from your hand or grave, then change one face down to face up. Banish this from your grave, target a Ghostrick. Is this in Bach? Why are Ghostricks getting like such sick support?
take what I can get. Run 10 of these, Jesus Christ. The last
massive power outage a few years ago that tanked the OSRS game economy.
You
know what's pretty sad to think about? Like that's the economic system of this world. That it makes more sense to play RuneScape than do like some meaningful job as part of society in Venezuela than it does in which world does that like make like rational sense that clicking on trees and cooking the fish is better than getting a real like job, you know? And we're not talking about like just any job. Like there's some like decently middle class like skillful labor labor in Venezuela that's like worse paid than just farming RuneScape.
Attacking and turn face down at the end of the turn. And they're going to keep losing 2,000 life points every single time.
What can I say, dude?
That's basically nothing.
Look at the
and
fish.
They will win before you get to reactivate.
Look at the fish.
Okay, well, it is searchable negation, and it works on links. And there's a nice idea here to make all the poking from Ghostricks slightly more threatening as the LP keeps decreasing. On the other hand, I'm not sure how much damage they think these monsters can put out, because depending on the deck you're going up against, even a repeated 2,000 life point decrease doesn't mean much. Best case.
What can I say? The artwork is if you control a Ghostrick, link, or field, target a face on monster your opponent controls, pay 2,000, make this effect become set this card face down instead of sending it to the grave. Otherwise, this turn that face on monster can't attack, effects negated, and is it changed to face down defense.
Case scenario, you managed to get a setup strong enough to make
like a
both
hentai cover. Oh, come on! Shut up!
Enough to rely on this. Running this one is completely up to preference. I know adhering to the Halloween aesthetic is an important bullet point in Ghostrick design, but I feel they're giving this
American
deck too many
coup causing
tricks
Venezuelans
and
to
not
play
enough
RuneScape is the weirdest stuff I've heard today.
That could absolutely benefit from basic but super
and you know why it's funny? Because it's
true. We got a glimpse of what that would look like with Shot, but the rest of these cards play just a little too safe. There's no need to keep going with 8-year-old effect framework just because the aesthetics demand it. Vampires hit a complete turnaround of design philosophy with their 2018 support, and you know why? Because the old vampires sucked shit instead of blood. So yeah, I think they're capable of making Ghostricks a really disturbing image if they just left their comfort zone for a single support wave. See you in part 3.
I think that was the exact article I read on it from Polygon. That